The next serving on our menu on our weekend of pool is this small affair of Mr. James Croxton on the left of your picture, and the 2 times world champion Tom Cousins. Tom doesn't even make the bulk line with his lag. And as the weekend goes on, I do wonder, you wonder how much practice people have had during lockdown. There's some people who are fortunate to have their own table and they practice on it all the time. And there's other players who have maybe struggled. I know Tom has been playing extensively through lockdown. Over in that club in over Norfolk Way, Afterton I think it's called, is it? Jimmy, a little bit closer to these parts, down in Staffordshire. I think he's Stoke-on-Trent way. I haven't seen anything of Jimmy playing, but no doubt he's local to the Players' Lounge. In fact, I think he may even have been working in there recently. So he'll have been playing on these winner tables with this super fine cloth on it. No doubt well practiced for this event. This should be a cracking game. Again, race to 7. Ooh, just snuck in the rear exit. One of those that can so easily not go. Well judged cannon, making this a very simple finish. Just on the table, just over that balcony where it says Legends and Spencers, is table 2. And just across on table 2 is Liam White, is playing Gaz Royds. Liam currently 2-1 up. And just on the very next table to them is Dylan Leary, the Irishman, currently in action against Gary Fenton there, 1 frame each. Some other games just getting going in the main arena, or should I say the main, I call it, this is the arena table, but I'm talking about the other venue, the other part of the venue. There's 15 tables set up in another room adjacent to us. Aaron Davis, currently 2-1 up. Carl Sutton, currently 3-0 against Scott Kennedy. Stevie Dempsey's taking the first frame against Tony Blount. Matt Brearley currently 3-0 against Kev Sutton. Tom breaking off. So there's one dry frame apiece so far, or one dry break, should I say, apiece. Tom breaking off in frame number 2. Jimmy comes to the table, facing all 15 balls. Horrible layout to have to come to. Everything tied up. Horribly awkward. Just gonna have to try and develop pretty much right from the outset. I think he's tried to leave the gap to play the red. The top left. The unmistakable profile of Jimmy Croxton from behind there. Those trophy ears. Only a safety available, a little containing shot. It's actually going to open one of the awkward balls up for Tom now. He could go for these. He's got that one ball in the open. I think Jimmy would have been trying to leave the cue ball tied against the bottom rail. But, it's just going to be a safety for Tom as well. Deciding to develop that one awkward yellow, so great shot. Still a lot of work to do, but a great opener. Just didn't have anything else. It was really nice. Is it just me, or is there a bit of Stan Laurel in Jimmy Croxton when you look at him? I'm gonna have to dig out a picture of Stan Laurel and put Jimmy Croxton next to him and see if when he sat down there, it just reminded me of one of my old favourites, Laurel and Hardy. In fact, if you put Shane Thompson next to him with a little moustache on, I think you've got it nailed. Used the whole of the pocket, but found the ball. There's something very reassuring when you're watching Tom Cousins play pool. You just feel like you're in safe hands. We talked about Phil Harrison's cue ball control, but here's another one who's up amongst the best. He can make the cue ball sing when he wants to, but it's not often he needs to because it's not very often he runs out of position. Breaking off in the third frame, Jimmy Croxton this time finds the ball. Pots a red. And, I mean, either set looks fairly straightforward. Reds, well, especially if the red nearest the bulk line next to the yellow goes, which well, it clearly didn't, otherwise he wouldn't have run into it, but it does now, then this should be straightforward. Just about controlling the next shot. You see just a trace of running side to bring the cue ball around the red near the top of the table to take out all of the balls at the top of the table before coming down table dear. Wow, what a mistake. I mean, Jimmy knows it. And it's a little bit unforgivable because he had a big margin of error. He didn't need to be perfect on anything there. He could have finished literally anywhere in that gap, and he would have had a shot on either one of these two reds behind the yellow. Is a bit of a heinous crime. You can see there, I mean, anywhere really, anywhere from kind of the black spot probably got 12 inches to land the cue ball in. And the foul. So Tom Cousins with ball in hand and 2 visits. That is very quickly going to transform the scoreboard into 3-0. Somebody asked who's next on the arena table. So the next game, which is programmed for 3 o'clock, I guess we're probably running a fraction behind time at the moment, depending how quickly this game goes on, is it's going to be Clint Ianson against Ian Davenport. So that's the next game up on this main arena table. You're going to see Clint Ianson in action. And as predicted, the score is now going to be 3-0. So Liam White, just on the next table to this one, having been 2-1 up, is now 3-2 down against Gaz Royds. What a break. He does time them well. He's going to be going reds here. That's a certainty. And they're all on. Not just on, are they? They're delightful. I guess if you're ultra picky, you'd say that these 2 balls in centre table are a little awkward, the way they've come together, and they don't go to either one of the corners that they're closest to, but it looks like it's a makeable plant. Who needs to plant them when you can do that? What a delightful shot. Just delightful. Just the perfect pace. Knew exactly where that cue ball was going to go. And that's just the difference, isn't it? The difference between absolute quality. Us club players, we're guessing the line. It's just about there. And if it makes contact, you think. I mean, he's not just made contact. He's made contact exactly as he wanted. And just knocked them open. Beautiful. Makes it so simple. Probably half a ball under where he wanted to be. Another half a roll would have been made it that little bit easier, but he can reroute if he needs to. He's got the straight red to top corner. I think he'll still play this red to right middle. I say, you can tell by the fact he's just taking that extra few seconds now. Had he been perfect on it, he would have just got down and played it already. It was just that half a roll short of where he wanted to be. And of course all this is leading to a black, which is kind of guarded by a couple of yellows, so he has to make sure that he lands pretty much perfectly. This is a little betwixt and between now. Oh, he had a slightly different angle than I thought, but this isn't nice. This is totally the wrong angle. In fact, I'm not sure it could be a worse angle. He may be forced to put it in off the black, but if he does that, where does the black go? Wow. He's going to have to... He's just basically taken his medicine and said, okay, I'll get it off the cushion. Again, it's one you expect him to get, but it wasn't ideal. Lovely. Yep. 4-0. He's hit his stride very early in this competition. Someone else who's hit his stride really early, Aaron Davis, is currently 4-0 up against Martin Wood. Carl Sutton 5-2 against Scott Kennedy. Stevie Dempsey 3-1 against Tony Blount. Harjeet Singh has made the trip up. He's 4-1 up against Paul Carr. Alex Bailey, I saw him posting today and looking forward to his event. He's 3-2 up against Marco Calvallo. Dean Wilson 5-0 against Jason Ellis. That really one of the pieces of furniture on the part of the furniture, isn't he, for this tour, or its predecessor. He's 5-0 up against Kev Sutton. If you're joining us more recently, then you've already missed Phil Harrison against Shane Thompson. Phil Harrison won 5 frames to 0. Sorry, I was just looking at something else then. Phil Harrison won 7 frames to 5 against Shane. And with Beard Productions, we are streaming live from the Grand Hotel in Blackpool. There is a bookie at the event. He's got his board up next door. It looks resplendent. One of these fantastic bookies boards that you see at the racetrack with you know, all the names lit up. Phil Harrison's your favourite. He's currently 4-1. Tom Cousins in action on this table is 6-1. Declan Brennan's 7-1. He's getting backed in fairly heavily. I think it was quite a big price earlier. Well, not a massive price, but he's definitely getting backed in. Callum Singleton finds himself his joint 3rd favourite. And that really says so much about Callum Singleton, doesn't it? it says so much about how his game's come on in the last couple of years, because Callum Singleton is the bookies making him a favourite over players like Adam Davis, Gareth Hibbert, Lee Kendall, Sean Chipperfield, Steve Petty, Clint Jansen. So you know, that's testament to how much his game's come on. It's fabulous. Callum, a top player nowadays. Good to see Carl Morris in the field as well, isn't it? Carl Morris. I noticed he was posting something recently talking about some revolutionary technology that he's been allowed. I mean, I don't know if you know, but Carl's been clinically deaf since I think he was 3 years old. He had an implant put in, but you get almost like a frequency. It plays a frequency to him, so he can make out your voice, but you can't actually block out background noise. And he's been offered some revolutionary technology, which means that it's a different kind of technology, which means that he can pretty much hear. So that's really exciting stuff for Carl Morris, and it's great to see him back playing pool. I know he's been back playing a couple of years now, but it's nice to see him on the scene. Sean Story also has made the trip up this weekend. I saw him a little while ago. Travelled all the way up from the south coast, long trip for him. Someone who I was moderately surprised to see in the field, John McAllister, has made the trip to play World Rules. And I wonder if that was influenced by the fact that his partner Danielle Randall is on the ladies tour, and he didn't want to be home alone for the weekend, so he's just come up to have a game. But it's great to see him in the field. Of course, world champion in his own right from 2019. Yeah, it would have been 2019, and then Mark Farnsworth won it in 2020, and of course we didn't have one last year. So just going back to the game, it was a good clearance from Jimmy in the last frame, and obviously a must-win frame for him, just to establish himself in the match, and he would have hoped for a chance in this one, but as you can see, Tom Cousins, no mercy. Steely-eyed. And there's the scores around the room. I saw Govey Gill was playing Lee Howitt, and the bookie had them priced at 5 to 6 apiece. I did think that was going to be some really good value, because I think Govey's a good player. He's 4-1 up there. There's definitely some value to be had. In a field this size, the bookie can't always know all of the players. There's another one he's timed really well. But wow, what a horrible layout. Horrid. I mean, you've got the yellow, which is, as we look at the table now, to the right of the black ball, which is guarded from that pocket. The yellow at the top of, the red at the top of the table, which is guarded by the yellow that's over the pocket. So both sets of balls here, not good. I wonder if I was just looking at this shot to see whether he could play this yellow unscrew across and try and open things up down this side of the table. That kind of works in that I think now Carl can play the yellow at the on this bottom cushion off of the red and open up the table, but of course the other yellow's now gone safe, so he's going to have to play that with some pace and try and open that back out again. He's got the safety net of the yellow at the top of the table. I mean, I have to find the irony sometimes that I saw another debate this morning talking about world rules and you know, how can anyone play world rules, and they're just such an awful rule set and so on and so forth. Here we are, we've now seen 7, 12, 19 frames in the tournament so far. Not been one tactical affair, not one single tactical affair. And that's the thing at this level, I just don't think it matters what rules you're playing. Okay, you'll see 1 or 2 tactical shots, but you just won't see shots that are bogged down. I mean, Shane played 1 deliberate foul in the previous match because he was forced into it by a great shot from Phil, which ultimately won Phil the match. But you know, the rules just don't come into it. Somebody asked if Jamie Graham's going to be playing on here. Jamie's actually... we saw Jamie warming up earlier. I'm not sure if he's planned to be on the stream table, maybe at some point during the weekend. I mean, obviously, they can only plan 1 round at a time. So, we hope to see either Jamie or Jez grace this arena table at some point. A couple of great players who've travelled up from the southwest all the way down there in Plymouth. People have come far and wide for this one, haven't they? Far and wide from all reaches of the country, and I mean, Blackpool, it's, if you live down south, it's a proper stretch. So Tom's found his way to the table, but you can see what he's left with here. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? He's tried to come down and disrupt this cluster down over the bottom right, but didn't get properly into the cue ball, and yeah, all he can do now is just try and pump a couple of balls out. You know, that's not bad. That's not come out too bad, actually. I think if the red hadn't gone there, Jimmy would have just been floating this yellow into this bottom left pocket, but Tom's covered that. Using his second shot. Well, it's just opening up fractionally for him, isn't it? I mean, if he can find something in this clearance and somehow get these, it would be a ridiculous clearance. But somehow you can just see it's just fractionally opened up for him. This now he's got this cluster at the bottom, but it should be fairly easy to break open. He's still got this tough red at the top of the table. I don't... I think there's just one too many problems at the moment to be able to go for these. The black's awkward, you've still got this cluster, you've got the red nearest the bulk line which doesn't go anywhere. Well, it does now. He couldn't pull this clearance off, could he? I mean, he had nothing to go at when he came to the table. Still awkward. He doesn't have the natural angle to plant these and bring out the red, which he would have dearly loved to. Still too much to do for me. Oh. Just so inventive. Just so inventive. Fantastic seeing that. I mean, this is ridiculous. Jimmy will be seething in his seat. This was just not a gettable clearance. He was a 1 to 20 shot to make this clearance. It just wasn't ever there. And then suddenly, he's going to be a tricky black away from it. He's left the double. That is utterly ridiculous. That's as good a clearance as you'll ever see. Absolutely crazy. I don't know, I'm just baffled by that one. He's pulled that, he's potted him off the chandeliers. Do not know how you navigate a clearance like that. It's not in my, it's just not in my repertoire. Wow. Utterly breathtaking. Made it from nothing. I mean, he had, I don't know, 3, 4 balls tied up. Maybe 5 of his balls tied up at the start of that clearance. I'll have to go back and watch it again. I can't even think it through at the moment. It's one of the craziest clearances I've seen. It's not gone to plan. He just needed to find the gap between those 2 balls. If he found the gap, they would have just split open lovely. But he hit the left of the 2, and it's just bounced off the cushion and come back to where it was. So now, all of a sudden, this makes this much more of an awkward clearance. He'll get another go at opening them up, but Well, does the... I wondered if from the right place, from maybe around about where that yellow is, would the top one of the two go? It doesn't look like it. I think he's just going to be playing a safety now. Lovely. Lovely. It doesn't get any easier for young Jimmy. Liam White's pulled back another frame over on table 2. It's now 4 frames each with Gazeroids. Already through is Dean Wilson with a 7-0 whitewash over Jason Ellis. Next up on stream is Clint Jansen against Ian Davenport. Programmed to be 3 o'clock, and the way this match is going, I think we might be making some time up and get ourselves back on track, because this is going to be over in double quick time if Tom keeps this up. He's got the battering ram out. This can very easily go wrong. He's going to have to play the red off of the yellow and try and break things open, but the problem for him here is the yellow above the red, if you understand what I mean, the one that's sandwiched between the two. It's going to be difficult to get out. Oh, didn't he play that well? This guy's walking on water. Well, you've seen 2 of the favourites in action. First up, Phil Harrison, and now Tom Cousins, and you've got to say, I'm not sure that Tom Cousins can play much better than this. He looks formidable already. He's 6-1 with the bookmakers, so Phil Harrison being the 4-1 favourite. I don't think Tom's going to be 6-1 for too long after this performance. You see Adam Davis in the background. Oh, there's me bigging up Tom. Put the curse on him. And, oh, he had a, sorry, of course it was a foul, wasn't it? So, he had a second shot. Beautiful. Well, it's been a bit of an exhibition. Lovely stuff from Tom Cousins, and, well, commiserations to Jimmy. There's not much he can do about that. It's a bit of a battering. It's, there you go. Tom Cousins marches through into the next round, and we've made up some time there. We very much back on track. Next up on stream is Clint Jansen against Ian Davenport. That's scheduled in for a 1500 start, 3 p.m. And we'll see you back on the bays in just about half an hour. See you soon.